coming up, last but not least, Coté, who I've known for a number of years, great storyteller. He's not going to talk about what he usually talks about, and I think I kept him up past his bedtime. Coté, take it away.
Hello, everybody. So this is a talk I have if you're caught in a large corporation, and for some reason you can't escape or you don't want to. It's some tips on how to survive there, and if you really don't want to listen to it, it's also an enjoyable clip art that you can find and use freely, commercially, if you like. So I've noticed that there's two types of people. We have these sort of cowboys. This is a statue called a widowmaker. They're trying to shoot out a horse in order for someone not to die. They're kind of risk takers. You read a lot about these kind of people and how they thrive and do things and how they're going. But for many people, it's not really useful to know about that. Most people are like these folks, garbage people. And they're sort of just keeping the city up and running, right? Like garbage people are great. If they don't pick up your trash, you sure notice. And they're just kind of like steadily doing things, moving along, doing all right. So if most people are like this, it's good to figure out how you survive in that kind of area. Now, first of all, I want to disclaim that none of what I'm going to say is about Pivotal. It's where I work, and it's a great company. We like point at glass. We write things. We do all sorts of stuff. The text is backward, if I remember, which is a little odd. But don't worry. Pivotal's awesome. Also, we're hiring. You should come work for us if you're like the two people here who don't work for us already. So the first tip is whenever you're in an environment like this, bring your own tools. Because whatever software that they're going to give you is going to be crap, right? And you're also not going to stand out with the work that you do based on using the standard tool chain or anything like that. So the other thing, often when you start a job, you get this advice that you should get a mentor to help you learn things and help out. Mentors are great, but it's better to have a champion. If you remember those bloody faces that Andrew showed earlier, you need someone like that who will fight for you and really stand out for you and be nice like this person. Now, the next thing is when you're in this environment in a large corporation, people are always going to try to freeload on you and assign homework to you. So you need to make sure that in order to filter those people out, you assign them homework. You say, oh, send me the meeting. Set up a meeting to do a briefing about this thing you want me to help with. Make them do some work before you do work for them. Now, conversely, you've got to be really careful. If you've been reading about those cowboys and you're like, well, Amazon uses 6-page memos, and you make all these suggestions, you're going to end up getting homework assigned to you if you suggest something. So be aware that if you're looking to solve problems, that's a lot of extra work, probably not in your job description. Now, if you actually do want to do something genuine and everything, if you want to innovate, you need to hide out. Like if you remember the origin of the Skunkworks project at Lockheed, I think they went into some totally other place and hid out so that they could invent like how to spy on people. So maybe bad example. Now, the next thing, and this is more a note to my younger self and other young people, is you're looked at as your company as your total overhead, not just your salary. So you got matching 401ks, discounts on your cell phone programs, mileage you can expense. Get all of that stuff so you extract all this money, or you're really just cheating yourself if you just pay attention to your salary. Also, it's really good to, if you're in one of these situations, to focus on doing as little work as possible. You gotta like relax, have a good time, maybe like do some QA automation and play video games for 2 years, whatever you like. But really sort out on time being part of your pay. This is a really long transition. So, slides are a big part of working in a big corporation, so I want to go over a few tips that I've learned doing lots of slides in companies. This is from a buddy of mine, Mark Cathcart. It's a very, very astute observation about what happens when you get gray hair in a large corporation. And look at those sassy people up there. So first of all, you need to think about a presentation in a corporate setting as a document that's been printed in landscape, right? You don't need like stones stacked on each other or a bunch of big pictures. It's a document that's going to be sent around in email and maybe in the meeting. And so you really want to like document the crap out of it. You're making a case to make a decision in a meeting. Bonus seconds there. So next, this is a little tip. Look up something called McKinsey titles. Maybe you know what that is, but it's basically like your title one should match the contents, but your title is a conclusion that you want to draw people towards. Like if you look at all of these slides, they're basically telling you what you should think about that slide. So it's a very efficient use of that title up there. Now, with all that said, you should assume you'll never get past the first slide in a meeting. So practice it, know your stuff, like your material, and just be able to like shoot the shit to get what you want in a meeting instead of having to go through the slides for it. It's a critical thing. I've had lots of big decisions in corporate meetings I've been in where we never got past the cover slide. Now, getting back to some regular stuff, always think about what an ask is. Like if you're in an elevator with some executive or other person who like could do something with you, and you've talked about kids and soccer and balloons and stuff, like try to come up with something you can ask for them. But you got to practice this ahead of time. Why do you need it? What it is it, and how can they help? So finally, if you're stuck in a corporation, like I like this song, it's like, the importance of just like sticking in there. Like if you really find yourself in there, get the mental fortitude to really stick in there and not get eaten by that beagle over there. You really got to train yourself to stay there rather than leave. However, sometimes you need to quit. And this is like my 6-point plan of when you decide to quit. And really it all comes down to like, circles of stuff like your managers. Can you find a new job? Can you tolerate it? And it's really important that you have a new job offer, right? You should try to stay there until you get one. So these are some more references. This is a fantastic book from the late 70s, early 80s that really helped me survive in large companies. You can look that out. And then my buddy Matt Baker, he had a really good overview of doing slides if you're interested in that. And I have a longer version of this, like 30 minutes, you can check out as well. So with that, thanks. And here's some rocks that are stacked on each other.